365, we making up plays. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the diamond in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, they working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
Welcome everybody to Fastbreak. We are here to talk all things NBA. Thank you so much for those of you who have joined us. I got my fellas here, Marcus and Chris. Fellas, how y'all doing?
What's going on, Ray? Chris, how you feeling?
Doing good, man. About yourself?
Man, this is like the type of season right now where allergies be kicking folks' butts, man.
Man, you be scared because you don't know, is this allergy or
Rona? I know it's allergy.
I won't even say its name.
So everybody forgive me for the red eyes. It's allergy season for me, and it sucks. But it's also the NBA off season, so let's get it. It's been very interesting, actually.
Let's definitely get it. So fellas, we have pretty much gotten through a lot of the off season and what it's going to be for the NBA. We've seen a lot of teams make a lot of moves. We've seen other teams not make as many moves. So I want to start with you guys in the Miami Heat, who were favorite to win the title last year, but seemingly had some pretty glaring holes in the postseason. And they haven't really done anything here in the off season. There's speculation that Durant wanted to go there, but I don't know if anybody believed after we saw that Gobert deal that Miami had what it would take to offer. So as it stands, Miami looks to be basically running it back. My question for you gentlemen is, do we think that's the right thing? And would you consider this offseason a failure if they don't land Kevin Durant? I'll start with you, Marcus.
Well, as a Philadelphia fan, whatever Miami does, whether they run it back or not, has no bearing on anything that my Sixers does. Speaking to the point of Durant and going there, as I guess one of his number one teams to go to, Miami didn't really have nothing to begin with, in a sense. They just had a nice little core that they built around Jimmy Butler for the past 4 years now, I believe. 3 years now.
3,
I think.
Yeah, so they haven't really landed no big free agent in a sense outside of Jimmy Butler. So everything they've been doing is all organic. So I don't even know if they have the draft picks or even the players that the Nets might want in order to make a trade for Durant to at least get some value for whatever or however y'all value Kevin Durant as a player right now.
Okay. Marcus giving it to us as only Marcus can.
As only Marcus can.
Chris,
we all know that.
Chris, your thoughts on the Heat's offseason so far?
I mean, what is there to really think about? Like you said, they haven't done anything. They didn't get better. So maybe in essence, they kind of got worse because
lost PJ Tucker.
Oh, Philly did pick up PJ Tucker. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they got worse, really, because they haven't done much. I mean, they need to lose Kyle Lowry. I know there was a potential talks of a Lowry for Irving trade, which there's no way Brooklyn would even consider that. Like, the Rudy Gobert trade has changed everything for all trades.
I mean, the Murray one was kind of one-sided, but the Gobert one is what I don't know what happens. At some point, you got to have some kind of course correction.
Yeah.
Or people gonna be stuck on teams because Utah seemingly, if they got that for Gobert, what you think they're gonna want for Mitchell? And then if Mitchell gets more, what the heck do you think it would take to get Kevin Durant?
Exactly.
So at some point, somewhere, we got to have some kind of course correction because this is getting out of control.
I think the Rudy Gobert thing is a one-off deal.
But can it be though? I mean, like you just said, I mean, that just set a precedent for everything because you can't get Kevin Durant for like what did they get, like 4 picks for Gobert and 3 players or
Well,
something?
see,
Like
here's the thing with that.
I think it was like on 5.
Yeah, I
They
think
traded 4 and then their
people-
first round pick from this year.
they overlooking the fact that all the drama that's going on in Brooklyn, and then the fact that KD is seemingly jumping teams in a sense, and also he's 34 years old. So
he's still Kevin Durant.
To whoever want to say that, that's not my take on things. But
So Kevin Durant isn't
why-
good. I know you think we overrate him, but you don't think Kevin Durant is.
I think he's overrated, but
So
that's
if
my
Philly
opinion.
had the access to get Kevin Durant, do you want him in Philly?
Philly probably does have the access to get him because we can give up a few pieces and a couple first draft round picks, but we don't.
Would
need
you
them.
want Kevin Durant in Philly?
No, because outside of Golden State, he's proven to me he's done nothing. I'm not going to sit here. He's 34. Let's get that correct. So
you're keeping Harden over Kevin Durant?
Yes, because at the end of the day, Harden came in mid-season. So I would like to see what he has going forward with the new contract and everything. He would fit better with Embiid and everybody else around that squad. Kevin Durant, as good as he is, he can't carry a team. So let's just get that out the way right now. So
you think Harden can? We've seen that.
But Harden's not carrying the team.
Oh, don't let me stop. I'm ready to roll.
Yeah, Harden's not carrying the team in Philadelphia. You see what I'm saying?
So why would
He's
KD
part
have
of
to?
a piece. He's part of a piece.
Like that's definitely a 1A, 1B if Kevin Durant goes. I know that's not a thing, but I'm just saying, like.
So that's why, and that's why there's nobody. You don't hear no trade going on for him right now because nobody's trying to give up their future. For we don't even know what Kevin Durant is going to do in the next year or two. So why even go that route?
Well,
What do you mean? He has a 4-year contract. Like whatever he does,
that's why he has a 4-year contract now. He's actually be traded, and let that sink in. So if you think that another team want to sit there and be like, "Oh, I got you for 4 years," and then if you feel some type of way, if one of your buddies don't get a good contract, then you have to be traded again. Then what? So trust me, if everybody had this big old package for Kevin Durant, it would have got done as fast as the Rudy Gobert did. Our deal got done, and that's not happening. Because I think these GMs and owners start to smarten up now. They're going to take back some of that control that these players think they have. And it sucks that it's going to start with Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving. Not that it sucks, but they actually know what they're doing at this point.
Con man.
Well, first of all, you know how I am. I'm the con man. And I'm glad to have y'all back on the show. I mean, I miss y'all. But is Marcus on some kind of versus stuff or what's going on with Marcus? I don't understand. First of all, let me tell you real quick. First of all, I love my Marcus. The Nets are not getting rid of Kevin Durant. So while we keep talking about Kevin Durant going ahead, he ain't going nowhere. He got a 4-year contract. They have the wherewithal to keep him. He ain't going nowhere. He requested to go to Miami or Phoenix. Phoenix already signed Ayton. He ain't going to Miami. So I don't know why we keep talking about where he going to go with this and that. How it affects Miami right now, it's a difficult situation because now they were going from Kevin Durant to maybe Kyrie Irving or to maybe someone else like Mitchell. In my opinion, they're going to stay as put. Mitchell, although he wants out, and he already been told by Utah, like, he can't be a franchise player, but I think he can be a number 2, maybe not number 1, but number 2. Yeah. So I don't think that all these talk about KD ain't going nowhere. He got a 4-year contract. They know that. They're not going to move him. They're not going to move Kyrie either.
Because they don't want to, or because you don't think they can?
Well, they can move Kyrie. Now, will Kyrie accept $30 million less? Now, as you know, first of all, the Players Association tell players You never accept anything less than your contract. That's number one.
James
number
Harden.
two, with the number.
He's gonna get that.
Well,
back
he's doing
in
it now.
endorsements.
We're still
Correct.
waiting.
Number
We'll get
two,
to it.
Number two, fellas, is the CBA is coming up with all kind of new stipulations that all that stuff that's been going on in the past is going to be eliminated. Fact. So all these players taking less, that's not going to happen. It goes against the collective bargaining agreement by the players. And who is the players' agent?
What? Who's the
players' agent?
Who
represents the players?
Like their personal agent?
Yeah, they all got.
Who represents the Players Association?
CJ McCollum.
CJ McCollum.
Oh, yeah, CJ McCollum does. But
he's been on all kind of TV shows. He's been on Stephen A. Smith. He's been on this and that. I'm telling you, fellas, the CBA is going to be off the hook. They're not going to stand for all this nonsense that's been going on in the 4 or 5 months previously. That ain't happening. That Westbrook stuff, that Kyrie stuff, the Harden stuff, that stuff is going to be put to a halt.
Well,
what can you do to stop? Just don't trade them.
You make stipulations. You want to get paid that money? Here are the stipulations in order for you to get that money.
But Kyrie missed money.
Right. When you choose to sit out, you don't get paid. That's the reason Ben Simmons right now is we're waiting on to hear the outcome of his grievance. But if you choose not to play until they trade you, you don't get paid. Mm-mm. Now, if they send you home like they did John Wall, you get paid.
Different. Right.
Yeah. Right. John Wall actually wanted to play.
What if your contract stipulates you get it's guaranteed?
Well, they all get the guaranteed money when they sign a contract, but in the situation like Ben Simmons, when you choose to say after you sign the extension, then you don't get paid. Same it goes for Kevin Durant. If he asks for a trade and then he doesn't get traded, he can just sit out and make up whatever bull crap excuse he wants. Then he won't get paid. So they got stuff in there.
It's guaranteed against things like injury, but
yeah.
If you retire or you just quit and be like, bump y'all,
right?
It don't work like that.
And fellas, I'm gonna tell you something real quick. Yeah, the CBA is going to dictate if there's going to be a lockout. I'm telling y'all right now.
I think we're going to see a
lockout. Owners ain't going to be playing.
You think we're going to see a lockout?
Yes.
Why?
Absolutely. Why?
Because the
owners going to say we're not having all this time management, game management. They're not going to have that. They're going to make stipulations in the contract so that it doesn't hurt their bottom line. You got players who are not playing games. They're hurting their bottom line. They're going to come to the CBA, and I heard this from Stephen A. Smith, who y'all may not like, but I also heard it from CJ McCollum, who's on the player side. So you got someone on the player side, and you got someone who's on the ownership side. The CBA is going to be real tough on all this stuff going on, because at the end of the day, the bottom line is about money, and they're going to make sure that the stipulations, making sure that players play, because you got people paying all kind of money to see these players, and they're doing game management, time management, whatever kind of management you want to talk about. It's going to be a big issue. I'm telling y'all right now.
So I agree that's going to be an issue. I just don't know what stipulations you can put because they already are taking the money. Now, I don't know if it will disqualify you from being able to sign a Supermax, or if there's going to be like occurrences. Like, I would be very curious, but otherwise, I think the bigger issue for me is going to be the money, because in 2 years is when the new money's supposed to kick in. And
correct.
From what I've heard, owners don't like the split. They feel like they gave up too much power. And that's why.
Right now it's 51-50, right?
I'm sorry?
It's 51-50 or 40-50-49. How was it?
I think it's in 51-49 in the players' way. I think the players have a majority, whatever it is. And so I think they're going to try and address that. I also think the players are going to want to figure out this or trying to collectively bargain these play-in tournaments and that mid-season tournament that Adam has talked about. So I think there's going to be more and more issues that are going to come up. And depending on who's running the Players Association at that time, if you still got LeBron, Steph, and some of those other guys in that room, you might have a hard time as an owner versus if you got Ja, Luka, and some of the younger guys that just want to play and maximize their future. I don't know if it might go differently depending on who's in that room at that time, but
that is one thing I do kind of worry about with the future. Like, they're not looking at that kind of stuff anymore. They're just trying to be TikTok famous. They're not going to be looking out for the next generation.
I think the modern celebrity is just smarter financially. I don't know if there are stats, but there was always like X% of people go broke within 3 years. I would venture to say that number has decreased recently. Whether it be investments or just the way that things are marketed. Also, the amount of the contracts are a lot bigger. It's a whole lot easier to blow 30 million than it is to blow 80 million.
Correct.
So I think there's a combination of that. But when it comes to losing checks, that's where I think you got to have the resolve and backbone and be a big enough star to stand up and say, no, we're not going to do it. And then have enough respect of the players behind you that they will back you in the event of a lockout. So that's where unity is really important. And historically, the NBA has been good at that, but I don't know.
I don't see a lockout happening. I don't even see, because as far as the CBA, like some of this stuff is being overblown as far as players really load management, because not every player really load management. At the time that you see players that take their load management, they're actually hurt. Like the ADs, the Bs. I mean, if you want to say LeBron to a certain extent, he does get hurt. Like as far as everything, like all the other stars, they normally play. The Stephs when he's not hurt. The Ja Morant when he's not hurt. Like there's other like all the people we can really speak of to that effect is probably like a Kawhi Leonard. That's about it. You can't really speak on that on everybody else because they normally play, and I think sometimes it's actual teams that sit these players out on load management because the science or the analytics behind it. So if that's the case, they didn't take that up with the teams other than the players. I don't think the players wants to sit out because it looks bad for the NBA and the way football is taking off too. They really don't want to be trying to battle a lockout along with because you're losing too many fans and interest at this point.
I would say.
Let me ask y'all a question because I respect y'all's opinion. When's the last time y'all heard of a rookie extension getting $237 million? Talk to me. A rookie extension contract. And guess how many are coming up with rookie? Now, what does it do to the rest of the team? When you're already over the salary cap and you're paying a rookie extension $237 million or like, let's say 190, 200. How does that affect the rest of the team?
Your rookie is your team, though. Like who is going to watch New Orleans if Zion isn't there? Look what Josh done for Memphis.
Well, look who else.
You have to pay them. You have to pay them.
Well, you don't have to pay them.
I don't agree with the New Orleans point, but I definitely agree.
What about CJ?
What about CJ? Yeah, CJ's great, but
they're getting more Zion televised games because Zion. Now,
so you tell me Ja Morant is worth 200 and whatever he's getting, 231 million.
I think they're 168 million on a new extension.
I think a little bit more than that. But
okay,
like even that.
It's 5 years. It's 5 year.
So you guys
30
agree to
years,
the fact that you're going
193,
to give a rookie
up to
extension
231.
that much money.
For those,
So
Absolutely.
they're making more than Durant right now.
Yeah, right
Durant's
now,
not a rookie
today, yeah.
You also got to think about like the money now compared to when Durant came into the league.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't like the rookies getting the max extensions?
Hell no. That much
not?
money?
But you
Okay,
know
I'll
that,
tell you what.
that
Zion, whatever his name is. He come off severe injury. He been out. He played 3 years. How many games he played? You don't give him a max contract?
Okay, now I don't agree that he should have got it because of his history, and we don't know what he's going to do. But you can't deny it.
but there's
Like
also
he's gonna bring that money back to New Orleans.
there's also stipulations in there, like for the first teams and the all stars, all kinds of stuff that gets them to that max contract. So if they don't hit certain numbers,
and his deal specifically has unique provisions for
Him being fat.
played and health and stuff like that. So they put that in there.
mm-hmm.
But
Because he's fat.
But just like Ja, he signed 5-year and with no option. So he can't even opt out. So he's adding security that I want to be here.
Right.
And I plan to be here for the duration of my deal. And if I can stay healthy, I can lead you to a championship. You absolutely max that guy out.
Okay, fellas, let me tell you something real quick. Now, you know me, I'm old school. I'm always dirt. I'm looking at it from a management point of view. When you sign him, any of them, to that max extension contract, what does that do to your bottom line? How many people can you get when you max out so much and go so much over the salary cap?
He's probably the only max player they got, though.
Right. I don't think they're doing assist because you still got to hit luxury tax.
Yeah.
Then they'll make trades. They'll cut players. They'll do all that stuff before.
But if it doesn't matter how long that player's been in the league, Luka is a top 5 player in the NBA. There's absolutely no reason he shouldn't get a max extension.
There are a few, but how many?
Who do you think?
Not
everybody's getting a max.
It sounds like you don't think Zion should have got it. What other rookies got that max extension?
Other than Ja, I think
That's it.
Aiden, but he don't got no max extension. He got like 4 years, 133.
And he got that because somebody signed him to it as a restricted free agent, but
So
it ain't like everybody's getting those deals. And I think they overpaid. We're gonna get to Phoenix hopefully in a minute. But I think
we will. Chris, sorry about that, Chris. Sorry about that, bro.
They blew that. That was a disaster. But like I said,
you gotta think about some of these dudes that's already been in the league for 3-4 years already when they get this extension. So the money's going to change.
And you got to think the ticket prices probably doubled in Memphis, maybe triple.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna blow up the downtown city. Now they know they got John Morant for the next 5 years. Like you might even be able to you can recruit a superstar when you got a player like John Morant to a
not if you have that salary cap options. You can't really do that.
Yes,
you tie your hands up.
You can fit 3 max players under the salary cap.
You can.
And these are billionaire owners. If you have to go into the luxury tax a year or two, what are we talking about?
But
how many teams do that? We know Phoenix won't do it. We know Phoenix won't do it.
Right.
Sorry, cheap.
But we're seeing that. I'm pretty sure they're going to be in the luxury tax now because they got Chris Paul's max. They got They might have DeAndre Ayton's max. They just gave Mikal Bridges max. Like, they paid a bunch of people. So I think they pay. I don't know. I think they gave campaign a bit of an upgrade from what his salary was. So they spent money, and I'm pretty sure they're going to should be a nice little luxury tax bill.
Oh yeah.
And Chris Paul and all of them are on extended deals. I think Chris Paul is on for 3 years. Devin Booker's on for another 4. Ayton's on
Chris will know.
They got to move some people in the next year or two. They're going to be spending Golden State money, and you don't want to be spending Golden State money if you ain't winning rings. But since we're here, we might as well discuss this DeAndre Ayton disaster. As far as I'm concerned.
Here we go, Chris. Here we go.
I'm going to turn it over to Chris so that you can enlighten us and give us some insight into what they were thinking and why they handled it this way. And then the rest of us can chime in and beat down the Suns for just a poorly mismanaged job. Chris, take it away.
No, I'll go last.
You know,
man, it was just I don't know. They should have went on and did it last year. I guess if you're gonna end up doing it now, I mean, it's a hindsight thing. They didn't anticipate anybody matching or doing that big of an offer, so you have to do it at that point because you're gonna lose them for what?
Nothing.
Absolutely nothing. You might as well sign them and try to run it back, hopefully. But we know the Kevin Durant deal is off now for sure because he can't be traded until the beginning of next year.
Right, January.
And he has to approve the trade.
He got veto power for a year.
Yeah, so I mean, he's there now. Like it's Aiden Booker's team because Chris Paul could go somewhere else, but he won't.
Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook got similar deals and similar interests.
Similar what?
Interests. Who's taking on that Chris Paul contract?
Nobody.
At this point in his career.
The Lakers would trade what? Trade Westbrook for Chris Paul.
But Phoenix would never do that.
I know. Why? Why not? Because Chris Paul's still needed, right?
He's better than Russ. That's not saying a lot, but he's better. He's better than
it doesn't matter. You just gave a compliment to Chris Paul. You know, this is a good show. This is a good show. I can go home on this note.
All right, so let's paint this picture. Last year, DeAndre Ayton wanted. It was made well. He was made it clear. I want the max. He felt he deserved the max. This was supposed to be his year. I don't think he proved anything other than he's not worth a max, in my opinion. So you end the season getting absolutely obliterated and embarrassed. And for DeAndre Ayton specifically, you end up benched. So if you have a frayed relationship with a star player, and he's a star player on their team, you got to fix that. So how did Phoenix fix it? They just left them sitting for weeks. Like, we're not trading you, but we're not going to offer you anything. And we're just going to let you dangle until somebody forces our hand.
And then they didn't count on that.
And then when someone does it, now you max him. That I can't imagine that relationship is great with management. And from what I saw, I didn't see anybody campaigning for them to pay him.
Mm-mm.
So as I go back into that locker room, I'm looking around like, ain't nobody wanted to speak up. Don't nobody think I'm worth this money? Like, you've now brought all of that drama back to your situation. And this goes back to the Kyrie thing for me with Brooklyn. You could have avoided all this drama if we didn't get to Brooklyn yet. But if y'all gonna keep him, you should have just maxed Kyrie and all your problems go away. But it's like Phoenix created a problem it didn't need to create. And for what? Like, you're not going to trade him for Miles Turner. You're not going to do nothing. You're just going to bring him back when you clearly don't believe he's worth it. Like, I just don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. Marcus or Mike, the comment, do y'all have more insight, or maybe I'm missing it?
Oh, I'm sure, because I know Chris wants to hold on to what we got to say. But, I feel that, like Chris Paul said, give that man his bag. But what happened was when Giannis busted him up, I think that hurt his value. And I think that, he was kind of promised that they want to take care of him in previous years. And because of what happened during his game against, or a series against Milwaukee, Giannis, opened up his weaknesses. And I felt that they felt that he really wasn't worth it. And as a player, when you are told that you want to get your max signed and you don't, and then you go put out there that you want Kevin Durant or whatever, that's going to put a hurting on him. And he's going to go back, unless Chris Paul does some magical things when Aiden comes back. I mean, that is a smack in the face, man. The man's still young. What, he's 24 years old? I mean, he got to school, 23. So, so the man, I believe, me being old as dirt as I am, you learn from your lessons. You got to go through the rough times. He went through the rough times. I think he's a big major factor for Phoenix, and they should have signed him back then. they would have saved money. But now that they waited so long, now they have to pay the price. And it only took an offer sheet from somebody else for them to realize how much worth he has and the fact that KD is not going there. I just feel, as a person, as a human being, that's going to have a major effect on how he feels coming back to Phoenix.
Now, my whole thing is, did he have to accept the terms from Phoenix? He could have went to Indiana if he wanted to, right?
No.
No,
Okay.
He was restricted.
No,
restricted
they
for
can
him.
match it.
He wasn't
They
he was still
can match it.
restricted.
Okay, so that's where
Phoenix didn't have to do it, but if not,
But that's
Okay.
the other part. If I'm Phoenix, you turn it almost into a Cleveland situation where Miles Turner now becomes Baker Mayfield. You got to move him. So you can try and trade him and may or may not get the value you want. Or you can send him to us and we can pay his current deal, which is less. And I think it's an expiring deal in 2 years.
2 years, yeah.
Like you save money, you get, I believe, a comparable player. I'm not a big DeAndre Ayton fan. I think you get a guy that might even fit better with what you got, and you lost JaVale McGee. So Dedmon ain't Biyombo isn't the backup, I think, of the future. So I just don't I feel like there was so many missed opportunities here. And now they got him back, and nobody's hype. I don't even know if the Suns put out anything like, "Hey, welcome back."
No,
I don't remember him putting out some
no
kind of
releases or anything.
Yeah.
like he hasn't posted like this. Supposed to be a celebration. You kept
Yeah.
the guy you drafted and maxed him out.
The only
clearly
way
not
I
that.
see this is there must be something we don't know about where they like, look, we'll go ahead and max you, but you're gonna agree to a trade somewhere still. Like that's the only way I can see this working out.
Ooh.
that would have to be after January though. If that's the case.
Yeah, but still,
Yeah.
And maybe his value's high if he plays well.
Right. Or his value could go low.
His
So-
makeup to me, I don't think he's the type of player that plays well through this kind of adversity. He seems weak-minded to me. Like he should have dominated in that Dallas series with those two centers, and he was missing. And I see that way often. His
but that's
talent,
the thing, he's like regular season
Yeah.
talent though. He's not going to be your big mama guy.
and that to me is just problematic. We saw, I think, Comment talked about it. Giannis destroyed him, so he's not a great. He
Who
can't.
doesn't Giannis destroy though?
Well, see,
1-on-one.
here's the thing.
He
I
ain't
think
not a good
destroyed
example.
Brooklyn this year.
he going into his third year, right?
I mean, he didn't destroy Boston this year.
He going to his fourth year, right? Aiden
But-
is.
Yeah,
So therefore,
No.
at some point,
No, this is
His
5.
is his fifth
No.
year? His fourth year.
no, this
He
is
came 18. He was a 18 class.
this is his fifth year.
Okay.
Yeah, him, Luka, and Trey were all the same class.
Okay. So then, yeah, that would make sense then. I mean, at some point, as Phoenix, you also got to develop this man too. At 6, what is he? At 7 foot, 7'1", maybe.
They got him listed at 6'11".
Okay. So at 7 foot, you also got to develop this man. So at some point, even coaching has to come into play. Like, and you got Chris Paul, supposedly the greatest leader, on your team. He has to get in there and work with Ayton too. Like, he has the body of like a David Robinson. His jumper in the mid range is not that bad. So it's his willingness to get down in the post and just bang, and
That's the
dominate.
thing. Yeah, he settles too
And
much.
nobody like who's training this dude or anything, just go down there and have that mentality. So it's not like he's a bad player, and I also think he's probably the best fit for Phoenix for the way they run their for their style of play. It's the fact I think coaching and everything else have to take over for this man at this time and just let him know, look, this is what you need to do. You need to crash his boards. You need to get stronger. Work on your post game because he got a mid range game. That's no denying that. Work on his post game. He's not a bad player. He just needs more development.
Hey, and y'all right, but I'm gonna hit with Chris, my boy. I got hit him with this one. 8 and 17 points, 10 rebounds per game. Him and Monty have a problem. How's that gonna be rectified?
And that's what I'm saying. I think he's Ben Simmons mentally. Like I don't think
I'm gonna hit with Chris. I'm gonna hit with Chris.
In that Dallas series in order to get going in the sense
we've
because he
seen
wasn't
that. Like last year was his prove it year. And
Yeah.
we saw what we got. So I don't think he's the type of player that going into the next year like, I'm gonna prove them wrong. I am worth this money. You didn't do it when the money wasn't even on the table, and that's why you sat through when everybody
a year and a half.
Here's the thing. To your point, though, the Pacers offer him that money.
Yeah,
Phoenix didn't have to match it. They could just let it go.
Yeah,
I don't know why they did.
Right. So
but what do you do though?
Uh-oh.
So clearly there's something there. They just need to bring it out of them.
I know, but like you let him go to Indiana. What are you getting back?
It doesn't matter if you don't like him like that.
You fail. You try and get Miles Turner, or you gotta just find another center. And now you have a Mac. There may not be one, but I don't think he's irreplaceable for this season. And now I cleared out a max slot. Like I don't have that max deal on my books. I can give that to somebody else that comes free next year.
Right. So Phoenix didn't have to make the offer. They had to match if that's the case. So clearly,
reallocated that money to a I don't know who else is left, with a Boogie Cousins or somebody that's currently a free agent, give him a 1-year deal and a 1-and-1 and drop him next year when somebody else comes available. But now you're locked in.
Locked in for 4 years. Yep.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
For at least one, you're locked in. Well, until January. Like I said, I don't know. Just speculation, but I think there has to find a trade partner. So handshake trade deal somewhere.
They still locked in for 4 years unless they find a trade partner.
Yeah.
So
don't Washington need a bid? Y'all need something?
We don't need him. Not at that money.
Y'all can do fine with Montrezl Harrell at 6'6", doing the same thing Aiden doing.
We had Harrell, and then he wanted to be a drug dealer out of Charlotte.
Hey, yeah, he definitely did that.
But all right, so back to another team that has been making little to no moves, and unfortunately, Freddie is not here to defend this.
I wish he was.
More and more, it sounds like Brooklyn is going to run it back, which means the Lakers have no trade partners because Jeannie is resolute in not giving up her 2027 first-round pick because the team probably will be trash and LeBron's going to be gone. So I get it. But we saw what this core, in essence, did, and now they've brought back a younger core but a less proven core. So what are we predicting for the Lakers next year based on what we're seeing? Or do y'all still think they can get Kyrie out of Brooklyn? I'll start with you, Conman.
Obviously, they're not going to get Kyrie. He's not going to give up $30 million to go play for the Lakers. And when at the first go round, you already know he didn't like the fact that LeBron was the man. That's why he left. He went to the Celtics, thought he was going to be the man. He wasn't. That's why he left. He went back to Brooklyn, with his hometown, and things didn't work out because he didn't take the vaccine. That didn't work. And he brought his own boys up in New Jersey, and that didn't work. So to answer your question, the Lakers are stuck with what they got for 1 year, though. They got to pay Westbrook that $47 million. They got to deal with it. But after that, it's going to open up so much free cap space that they just got to deal with 1 year. Westbrook is not going anywhere. Kyrie is not going anywhere. Durant is not going anywhere. And they're at the best place that they both can be, Westbrook and KD. That's my opinion. Where they going to go? Who going to have enough assets to make them happy as opposed to making the Nets happy? What team can provide that? Golden State, maybe. Maybe. Other than that, I'm telling y'all right now, Durant, Kyrie will be in New Jersey, Brooklyn, whatever you want to call it. Westbrook's going to be with the Lakers. Jeannie Buss is going to shut her mouth and deal with the fact they got one more. You know how I'm crazy. She's going to shut her mouth and she's going to deal with the fact they got one more year with Westbrook, but then it frees up so much space next year. What y'all think?
Marcus, you can go.
See, my thing is, if 2027 pick is a reason that you're losing out on more titles, then Jeannie Buss don't need to be running the organization.
Right?
So you think trading that for Kyrie is a championship?
Hell,
In hindsight, it can be.
With
Or it
that
can't
current
be.
roster, if you just simply swap Westbrook for Kyrie with that roster, you think that's a championship roster?
Even though I'm not a big Kyrie fan, but him and LeBron James have proven that they can win games together. That's been proven, and it's been proven that they can win a title together. That's been
then why
proven.
did he leave? Then why did he leave?
That's but the that's
That was a
between
long
Kyrie and
time
right.
ago.
So with that being said, we know what's not proven. We know it's also proven that they're not winning with Westbrook. That's also proven. So if Jeannie Buss taking that 2027 pick is going to make a big difference in the next 4 years and agrees she don't need to be running the organization. She's not trying to win, and you just wasted LeBron's prime last years of his NBA for nothing at this point. Now, will Kyrie make you a championship contender? Maybe, maybe not. But what you got with now, you're not even a play-in team. So
you think Kyrie's that big of an upgrade for Russell Westbrook?
he's a big grade over Westbrook, but I also think anybody's a big upgrade over Westbrook at this point in his career.
That's true.
Like,
By all
I
accounts,
think
Darvin
that-
Ham seems to love the guy. So,
but see, you have to say that until he get traded. If he gets traded,
he going above and beyond. He doing a heck of a sell job if that's the plan.
Now my thing is,
Because I keep hearing Jeannie take shots at LeBron, and ain't nobody shouting out LeBron. I keep hearing him talk about Russell Westbrook is coming back. Ain't nobody saying nothing about LeBron, and he ain't signed his extension.
but LeBron's he's no fool, so
he ain't got no trade either.
No,
right.
And my thing is,
button Brooklyn for KD.
And sometimes it could just be a coaching issue. Sometimes it could. Maybe Vogel wasn't the right coach to coach that particular core. You see what Darvin Ham got. Now, would it equate to more wins? Possibly. Would it equate to a championship? No. Would it equate to a first round exit? More than likely. Maybe second round, depending on the matchup that they get. Now, if you keep a healthy AD, maybe you might get farther.
That's an oxymoron. Those two can't exist.
But I think that's the thing that we are missing. Though we're talking about the Westbrook to Kyrie thing. Does Kyrie, LeBron, and AD, is that a championship team?
To me, that would be more of a logical fit because Kyrie could do more with the ball as far as scoring than Westbrook could. So
what happened when the winter time come? Cases go back up, and then they put the mandate back in California.
Good question. Yeah.
And now you didn't trade it for Kyrie.
But that's still a better upgrade than having Russell Westbrook.
Not if he can't play at home.
Well, neither can Westbrook, apparently.
He can't play anywhere. I mean,
I don't want to stop disrespecting Russ. He did.
We will not. Westbrook's ass. He's been ass. I've been telling people this.
How is the guy that supports Chris Paul scoring single digits in a playoff game talking bad about Russell Westbrook?
I've been saying because Westbrook's style of play, man. It's just
well, your point guard don't score at all. At least Russ shoot.
He shouldn't.
He shoot better and score more than Chris Paul, who you can't count on from game to game. You don't know which one you're gonna get. You're gonna get 40-year-old Chris. You're gonna get Cliff. You're gonna get New Orleans Chris Paul that go 14-14. What are you gonna do?
Do you want Westbrook at all? Like any version of Westbrook?
Yeah, I want a version of Westbrook. Westbrook gonna be there. Shut up.
That's not a good thing.
Is he gonna be there though?
Yeah, with his follow.
Is he gonna be there?
Russ is Adam Silver loves players like Russell Westbrook who play every game.
Oh no, I do too.
Like that's one thing I'll say. Westbrook, he's not gonna cheat you. Like if we're talking about the old manager thing, he's gonna be there. If you're coming to see Westbrook,
he's gonna rock the baby.
You're gonna get your money's worth.
Yeah, he's gonna rock the baby.
He's gonna get you, 20 points on 40 shots. But
see, he'd be a good fit back in OKC. He'd be a good fit in Indiana.
Yes, he would because there's no expectations that OKC.
He'd be a good
OKC team. If they don't blow it like they did the first time around, that OKC team gonna be all right in like 3 years.
He'd be a great fit in New York. In New York with the Knicks right now, he'd be a great fit. He's just not a great fit for the Lakers
because there's no expectations anywhere. He can
Let
go
me
anywhere and just be
ask
like
y'all
the
a
man.
Do you think he can resurrect his game? Do you think
Hell
he
no.
can change his game?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Chris,
This is
stop
who
it.
he's been.
Chris, no.
This is
You
always been
think
his
so?
game.
Really?
It's just highlighted more now because he's in LA.
You
Not
don't
at
think
all, bro.
you don't think
Not at
he's
all.
learned from last year and he's going to be able to adjust some of his style of play with AD and Bron now that he's been through it for a year?
Okay, folks.
Did he adjust
I'm
with Kevin Durant?
gonna give an example. I'm gonna give you an example. Check it
How?
out. Nate Archibald, leading scorer in the NBA, went to the Celtics, changed his game totally. He can't do that
Chris
with the new
Robinson.
coach.
You know
Mike,
you're
what's
better
up?
than this, sir.
What?
Hey, sir, let me Ray, I'm gonna go through memory lane and you let me know where I'm wrong. Who did KD have an MVP season with? It was Russell Westbrook, right? And then Bradley Beal had one of his best seasons with who? Oh, Russell Westbrook, right? Okay, James Harden. James Harden had an MVP season with who? Russell
Chris
Westbrook,
Paul.
right?
No, Chris Paul.
He had multiple MVP
No,
seasons.
Westbrook.
Right?
James Harden only had one.
Those.
So 2 out of 3.
I believe one was
I
robbed.
think y'all getting too hard on West. I think
Even the
Westbrook's
Giannis
gonna
one
come
was
strong, man.
I believe the Giannis one was robbed. But anyways,
I agree with you.
I think Giannis deserved one of those two. But that's a conversation for a different day. But my point is, everywhere Russ has gone, people have succeeded. Bron's really the first person that Russ has played with where it's like it didn't really go the way they wanted, and Bron still played well. So it's me, Chris Robinson, you're going to look at that roster from top to bottom. And I've talked to Marcus about it. I've talked to Conman and Ray about it. All right, so flip it. Put Kyrie on that roster. That roster is still dog shit, bro.
That's what I said.
Kyrie's not your savior. Russell Westbrook wasn't your savior. None of these dudes were your savior.
Are they better with Westbrook? I mean, with Kyrie?
There's no difference.
It's a difference.
I don't know about that.
It's a difference.
When it comes,
We don't know how long he's gonna play. How many games he's gonna play? If he's gonna play it all, we have no idea.
If we're being honest, I think Russ is a better fit with AD than Kyrie.
100%.
Okay, I didn't say that, but you got to put LeBron there.
agree.
But
when it comes to winning and
going to
losing,
be in the point guard's hand. I don't think we've seen what Kyrie just did with KD. It's ISO ball. It's ISO ball. There's no movement. AD's going to need the ball to be put in his hands in certain spots. I don't think you're going to see that with Kyrie. Kyrie going to be in LA. Kyrie going to get buckets the way Kyrie get buckets. But I don't think that helps AD at all.
Well,
I think Russ is a much better fit for AD than Kyrie.
But you have LeBron being your point guard at that point, though.
If you got to play like LeBron,
let me ask y'all a question. Has Westbrook lost his athleticism?
Yes.
Yes.
Not really.
To an extent. He's not.
He has.
But he's not as explosive as he used to be.
He missed a whole lot of layups.
Well, nobody is. But I'm saying, so you think he's like that bad that he can't adjust?
He can't. He's proven that
he won't
for his time in the league. Russ is Russ. Is no different.
No, Russ is from LA. He live in LA now. You don't think Ham is going to instruct him to change his game?
So
to make them better?
Comment, you think he's gonna all of a sudden develop a consistent 3-point shot for the first time
in his
career?
No. I'm not going that far.
He's not gonna
I have few beers, but I ain't had that many beers. I'm saying I think that he can
get more athletic. He's only going to get less athletic.
Right. Yeah, he can.
Well, I'm saying though, he can change his game to benefit the Lakers. If Donovan can express to him to change his game.
So
not always.
Kind of
change what though?
I think you look at it the way you look at Derrick Rose and how he changed his game into more of just kind of facilitating the floor rather than.
Thank you. That's all I'm saying, Mike.
Derrick Rose knew he had to.
He can't do that.
Westbrook's not at that point.
Yeah, he hasn't hit that.
Hey, Chris Robinson, let me ask you something. If he has another season like this, how many contract offers you think he's going to get? He's at 0. That point. He's at that point.
Max deals, none. But he's going to get a deal.
Yeah, New York will sign him still.
New York
will sign me, Chris.
And that'd be the best decision they made, Mike.
I like that, Mike. I like
New York definitely signed Westbrook, and it's like
Yeah, like he'll
sometimes it's
still
just
get
not
his
a
money
fit.
for his name. I mean,
If I
just
grow
not a
2 inches
fit in
this summer,
certain
I'm gonna be on the
situations,
phone with New York by tomorrow. So like, it don't matter.
But fellas, he averaged 18 and 9. That's not that bad.
That's awesome.
18 and 9. That's not that bad, fellas.
That's
He
his
need to
career-
improve his.
it's not
That's
that
his career
means
average,
that,
though.
no. But
That's
that
career
18 points also comes with what? 24 shots?
Yeah.
about
You
8
got a point.
turnovers?
I'm just saying. Don't you think he can reconstruct his game to benefit the Lakers?
Hell
No,
no.
I think he
No.
can.
No, he
Because
can't.
so many players have adjusted their game when they know their game has deteriorated.
But he's not those
Sometimes-
players.
Sometimes
I
you're a
think it's a
Westbrook
John
and
Wall
you're a Carmelo Anthony, and other times you're just other players. And in this particular category, he's who he is. There's no changing that.
I think it's just like John Wall. I think like when you look at Derrick Rose was able to change his game. But I think like a John Wall situation is I'm not changing and I'm not coming off the bench. So I'm gonna just go to a different team. The next year is gonna ride out, they're gonna eat this money, and then he's gonna go wherever on a cheap deal, and then he's gonna look great and it's gonna make the Lakers look awful. But really it just was never a good fit. You have 3 guys who need the
Right.
ball, and
Right.
and that's just not who Russ is. And it's a bad idea from rip. Like I don't even know why this was a conversation 2 years ago. I don't know why everybody was like, "Oh, they're going to win a championship." No, they're not.
I
said
agree
that
with
day
you.
one.
Mike, I agree with you. You all know. I think sometimes you gotta face reality. I think he needs to realize
That he's
what
asked.
he needs to do. What?
But see,
You can't do that.
My thing is though, like even as of right now, like he's just not a good fit for the Lakers. It's that simple.
Nobody is.
He's not going to change his game or anything like that, which is fine. And to another point is D Rose had to change his game because D Rose stayed hurt. That's why he had to change his game. Westbrook,
You don't think
too.
LA management has told him he needs to change his game?
You think he
doesn't
gives a
Don't you
damn what
think-
LA management
Darren
says?
But what
has
is he
told him.
changing to, Kyle? He can't shoot the 3. He needs the ball.
So
in his
don't
hand.
shoot the 3. So don't shoot the 3.
They're going to leave
So
him
what's he
open.
changing in if he's not
Right.
shooting the 3?
They're going to leave him open.
Penetrate, dish, and do what he does best. Don't shoot
That's
the
not changing
3.
his game. He already passes.
Right. Now the
So
best
if
they
I
can
play
do-
you to pass, now you got to finish at the rim, and that's
I have a question though, Ray, if you don't mind, just really quickly. Chris Robinson, sir, Ayton over Trey Young, sir. Sir,
I wasn't a Phoenix fan at the time, so I didn't care then.
that's a cop-out answer, sir. I'm just saying. I was watching,
Mike,
I
can
was
you
watching
bring us up to
live.
date?
I noticed nobody was excited in Phoenix about your boy returning. That's crazy to me.
We were talking about it earlier. You know, Ayton was drafted number 1 in the draft class over Luka.
Yeah, he was.
And
Yes, he was.
Trey.
And we can all agree that was a mistake.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying.
Was
not
it?
necessarily-
But
not
was it though?
necessarily.
But no, realistically.
Not
No.
necessarily. a
Hindsight.
mistake,
But
because
do you does Luka and Booker or Luka
right,
and Trey
there's
really
got to
work?
be a good fit. Like
Luka
that's
and
what they
And Devin Booker would be nuts.
Hey, Chris, I don't think it's about that, bro. I think it's about this. Hey, you match that offer sheet. If it was Luka or Trey, I wouldn't have been mad about it.
Right. No, that I give you. But
And I'm like, I don't know why y'all did that.
No
And
way.
y'all don't know why y'all did
And
that.
I'm not a big Trae Young fan. I think Atlanta, I get the culture, but they're going to kick themselves in 10 years.
Oh, that's like
They
What, for
had
Trae?
Luka.
for Trey and Luka?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know
Okay.
about that.
There's a reason
I don't
they
think
just brought,
Luka's that. I don't. Luka's gonna
there's
be
a
good in
reason they
Atlanta.
just brought in DeJounte Murray. They didn't go get another point guard for a reason.
No, but you
Good
have to
point.
because you need a defensive player and also another point guard to help Trae Young along.
You don't go get a potential all-star point guard when you got the point
Yes,
guard.
you do because you want to make the team better.
No,
like
you don't.
you can't rely on Trae Young's defense or his height in
I
order
think you
to
really
get
have to
the
look at
places.
it though for who DeJounte is. Like I watch a shit ton of DeJounte Murray games. Like I love that kid. That kid's a hooper.
Yes.
He's nice.
Like, he's a 2. He's for real a 2. He's a good
Yeah.
point guard.
No
but he's a
way.
2.
He's a better point guard as far as like
No,
especially
that's what
decision
you think,
maker.
but the Hawks need another playmaker.
Right.
Point guard.
And that's a big part of it is like
We
look at
disagree
Steph
on
Curry.
that.
Steph Curry is a
But-
great shooter. He's a better shooter than he is a point guard. And that's the
Right.
reality of it. That's why Draymond carries the ball most of the time.
Listen, y'all ain't gonna get Mike. Don't get on here with this Steph slander now. That's
That wasn't
all-
slander. That's a
Yeah.
fact. That's a fact.
But people act like he can't pass.
I didn't say he can't.
We didn't say that.
Said he is
I
better
said
at shooting.
act like, well, yeah, because he's the greatest shooter ever.
Great,
But
so
he's not a
my point.
facilitator either, though.
Now, down
And what does Trey have potential to be?
the Luka situation, they need
I gotta
another
come in with my
playmaker.
history. I gotta come in with my history.
They need another
Trey Young
playmaker.
can't
Hey,
No.
guys, we have breaking news. Russell
makes-
Westbrook just fired his agent.
Hold up. I thought y'all
Who?
already knew that. Why were we talking about Russell Westbrook then?
Just in general, we were talking about the
Oh,
Lakers,
man.
and then Chris started talking bad about
I
Russ.
hate it here, bro. Y'all were just casually talking about Russell Westbrook on this Friday evening.
It was Chris.
Nah, we're talking about the
Oh,
Lakers.
Chris, I hate
It
you,
wasn't
bro.
me.
Yeah, you brought up
I'm
Russ.
tired of
Comment
it,
did.
bro. I'm tired of it.
Okay. It could
But
be
anyway.
Russ.
All right, so you know me, I can go back to my
His
history.
agent
'Cause I'm over there.
He fired his agent.
Let me
of
ask you a
14
question real
years.
quick.
His agent probably
All
wants to quit because he realized, man, this guy's ass. I'm out.
They said it's. Oh my god.
He probably just told him that. He's like, bro. He probably heard comments saying, you need to change your game. No, I ain't gonna do no bullshit like that. You're going. Like, count man, see what you just did?
I'm trying to say something real quick. Throughout the history of the NBA, who's has a more longevity? Point guards or forwards?
Point guard.
Forward.
Wrong. Again, I'm gonna ask that one more time. Longevity. Who plays, generally more speaking, more years? Point guards or forwards?
I'm going point guard.
Y'all wrong. You know I know my history. Y'all wrong. Name how many forwards that play over 10 years. Name how many guards that play over 10 years.
I know a whole bunch of guards that play over 10 years.
Right.
That started. That started.
I mean, I don't think we have enough time in the show to go through all the ones, but
Right.
there's been a
All
bunch.
right. Everybody's
I'm
playing
telling you
for
a fact.
years nowadays.
Is
Everybody.
there a logic to this, though? Is there a reason we're getting to this?
There's
Right.
more tear on point guards than there are on forwards or big men than there are on point guards.
Well, no, because
No,
most forwards are breaking
sir.
the ball up.
Over
nowadays.
big men are banging, people are falling, they're jumping, they're taking charges, they catching elbows.
I wish I
It's
was
way more. That's
All
why
that weight
that's why
coming
AD
down.
don't want to play the 5 now. That's why LeBron don't like playing the 5.
LeBron
it's
plays
way
I
the
like
five.
when Brown plays the 5 though.
Yeah, he plays the five.
It's
I like
better.
when he
One-
does.
he-
I like
It's a
when he
great
does.
lineup.
That's
The
just
same way the
terrifying.
Warriors put Draymond at center. That used to be a great lineup when you got KD on the court, but don't nobody want to be banging like that.
And you can do that when you play the Phoenix Suns because DeAndre Ayton's a horrible center.
Nah, you ain't gonna get no argument from me. I've been
He's not
saying
horrible.
What happened, Chris?
He's not
He did
horrible.
better- he
you
did
want to
better
talk
player
about
development.
overrated?
Luka.
That is the most overrated player in the NBA based on this
better than
contract
Luka.
right
Better
now.
than Luka. Better than Trey. Never forget. I love that draft class so much. Every time I see it, I think of Chris Robinson.
Yeah, because you don't have to go get Chris Paul in that case. That's
You know,
another.
I will say
No,
this though,
come
Ray.
on.
I do not think that Booker. I think Trey Young and Booker can coexist. Luka and Booker talk too much. I think that would be a problem. I think that's a mad problem because they just talk shit back and forth 24/7.
But Book got the Mamba mentality, and Luka gonna bring it out because Luka's a dog.
See, but
I think Luka
Yeah.
pushes Devin Booker to a tier that Trey Young isn't or couldn't.
Luka brings up mothers, bro. I don't think it's gonna fly like that. Luka's that dude. Speaking of mothers,
Yeah, he is.
this is my transition. Ray, have we talked about Zach Wilson today? Just
This is a basketball show,
Not
Mike.
yet, not
No,
yet.
I'm
We
sorry.
did not talk about
Oh, yeah,
football.
talk about mothers and
gossip. But Monday, if you come on Real Talk, we will definitely be getting into my man Zach Wilson, who is one of my new favorite quarterbacks.
Best quarterback in the league.
player.
Like he might not, the Jets might be trash, but I like
Zach
him.
Wilson is a player's player.
He's a player from the Himalaya. He's a player from the Himalaya.
I aspire to be Zach Wilson.
All right, so before we go, I do got to talk to the resident Philly fan. Why is it taking so long to give James Harden a deal?
Oh,
I think he has a deal though for
No.
2 years. For 2 years,
I heard what it was supposed to be the terms be, but
thought
I
he
ain't
signed
seen
it.
nothing
He's gonna
signed.
take less.
he did sign it. He
I
had
thought he
gonna
signed a
take less.
2-year 15 or
he
something,
signed
like
a
15
2-year
less.
deal. But the thing about that is, with that
I didn't
2-year
see that
deal,
official. I
The,
could be wrong.
I think there's a trade coming down the line somewhere
Russell
that flexibility is going to help. So I don't think Harden is a dumb dude. I think he knows Daryl Morey is going to do what he need to do to help the Sixers team get to where I know we're going to be, which is champions this upcoming
When?
season. This
What?
upcoming season.
Second round champion.
Nah,
What?
this upcoming season we're the NBA champion.
Oh,
You won't put any money on that.
I definitely put money on that.
oh, come on, man. Come on, man.
So
You really
let
think
me
the
finish.
Sixers are gonna win the title this year?
I do.
You for real?
Yeah.
What?
Because sometimes
Like,
like,
are there stipulations to this? Like,
The
what?
Bulls too, while we're at it.
with the
Yeah, you
roster
got
they
to
have
talk-
right
you
now.
got
the core we have right now. Think about
Talk
this.
to me.
Last year,
So
Wait,
PJ Tucker is the championship key.
listen, Tucker is going to give us something that Thibault can't give us, which is a corner three or a three when it's needed.
They ain't got no offense.
You
Right,
had
yeah, so
JJ Redick, you had Jimmy Butler, you had Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, and PJ Tucker is that defensive player in a 3-point shooter that you haven't had.
He has about 5 points a game, correct?
And look, y'all so hindsighted, like y'all gotta understand, even with all that, second round exit. Like sometimes it ain't about the name of the player on the jersey, it's about who fits better. And when
It's about the name of the
Simmons out
coach,
most
too.
of the year, when Ben Simmons out most of the year, we're still a third team in the East, the third seed in the East, without a player playing. Now you give us a player that's coming in on a full season this time around, not a half a season, that plays the point guard spot better than Ben Simmons does, with an emerging star in Tyrese Maxey, still with the supporting cast. Then you add somebody that's going to play defense on the wing like a PJ Tucker can, and go out there and give you some roughness. That equates to winning. Whether y'all like the
And you lost another shooter, Danny Green. You lost your shooter, Danny Green.
That's fine. He wasn't giving as much anyway.
Addition
So,
by subtraction.
right. That's
Yeah.
not saying much. And
Yeah, well, yeah,
the
yeah.
bench, so what we did with the bench now, we upgraded from a Danny Green and we upgraded from Shake Milton in the sense. But as a player with these young cats is coming in that can play defense and shoot the three. So we have some talent coming off the bench, which is what we needed. And
You
I
still
think
have
it's
Doc
going
as
to be
a
a
coach.
trade down the line that's going to benefit this team even more. So you watch and see,
You
because
still have Doc
at
as
this
a
point,
coach.
it doesn't matter if Doc the coach at this point because we have the matter of fact, Doc has shown
What
that
is
he's
this,
been a
Brooklyn?
good
It
coach.
don't matter who the coach is now.
I'm saying Doc has shown that he's a good coach. He got
What?
far as Brett Brown's gotten, with such a short period of time. Not to mention the Ben Simmons fiasco, that takes up another whole new storyline of his own. So with him being gone a full season with Harden,
Doc
and
was the cause of
Embiid,
the Ben Simmons fiasco.
I don't think he was. Ben Simmons is the cause of Ben Simmons fiasco.
So
Oh,
Doc
Doc
saying
said some pretty.
Listen,
We
if
can't-
Doc
I don't know if we
says-
can
Doc
win with
says
Ben
you
Simmons
can't
as our
be a
point guard.
championship point guard, and that causes you to go into mental health and whatever, then that's on you.
Shouldn't have been
Like-
talking shit.
No, it doesn't matter. But you've proven that you're not a championship winning point guard. That's proven. Because look,
How did he get to
doing
prove it?
Brooklyn?
Like,
What he doing
you
Brooklyn
need somebody.
out there?
We just talked about Ayton not having the support of the Suns. You think that doesn't matter? Like, you heard your coach say it. We're going off of thoughts
Right,
on
but-
Ayton.
He's not telling. Not like he's telling a lie. Because what was Ben Simmons giving you?
He told the whole world.
Nothing. Nothing. So
I'd
That-
rather Marcus. I would rather him walk into the locker room. All of us. Like if this was the 5 of us in this room right now, Doc Rivers walks in.
He
and
was-
goes, I think you're dog shit. Instead of going up to a microphone in front of the whole
Listen,
world and telling
after
everybody.
losing the way that we lost to Atlanta in that second round, I don't anything allowed to come out of my mouth if I was a coach. And if Ben Simmons
the
was
locker
cause of
room.
that, it doesn't matter. If Ben Simmons was the cause of that at that time, after we lost in 7, the way we lost on our home court, I was there when we lost that game.
Can you guys see who those 3 people
I'm
are?
not doing it.
I could see them, but I don't know.
No,
I don't know who that is.
On the orange, we have Kyrie Irving. In the
Okay.
middle, we have Kanye West. And on the right, we have Jaylen Brown. All of
Okay.
which are hanging out here today. So maybe we'll get some Kyrie movement back to Boston. You never know.
I doubt that, but hey. But who cares?
yeah.
Because the Sixers are winning the championship this year.
I didn't like that, right? But Chris didn't like it either.
No, I didn't. But the
Hey,
Sixers are not
Hey,
winning.
Bob,
The Sixers won't even come out of the East.
Okay.
They won't.
Go Bulls.
Okay.
Go Bulls.
Hey, boss. What we didn't talk about is
Mark,
the new
you said
rookies
you
coming
would-
in.
So,
Go
Mike,
When we gonna
are
talk
you
about
with
that
it?
next week?
Hold on, real quick. We got to get this. We got a Bulls fan who have done some things in off season. We got Philly who has or hasn't. Who's gonna have the better record?
The Sixers.
Both are in the very
Oh,
same situation. I think a big part of it is the health of the Chicago Bulls, and the other part of it is the health of Joel Embiid. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Like Joel Embiid had the healthiest season he's had. I think Marcus would even agree too. Like I've been very critical on Joel, and I think a
Yeah.
big part of it is because of his health. And to me, he's like a superstar in the making. I think what consists of a superstar is the best ability, is availability, and I think talent-wise, everything he's done, superstar, box office. It's just being on the court consistently. Can Joel do that another season? I think if he's healthy, I think the Sixers are better than the Bulls. Because right now, I got Gordon Dragic starting him for me at point guard because I don't know what the hell is going on with Lonzo Ball. Like I don't like health-wise, no one knows.
You think Gordon is going to jump Ao?
I owe 100%. I think his offense. First of all, never call him Ao ever again. But
Nah, it's a better name.
it's not. But
It's a better name.
hey, if he wasn't from Chicago, I would have let it slide. But no, I think with Gordon, you understand the same concept. Io's a great defender, and so is Dalen Terry. So is Kobe White's just a good spot up shooter. He's not a great defender. But the thing with Dragic is he can facilitate the floor, and he can be that. And that's what Lonzo was, and that's where like you never really knew where that offense was going. One day it's
But his defense is trash.
100%. But I mean, shit, what are you gonna do? You know what I mean? Like that's at the end of the day, you got to put somebody on the floor that's gonna recognize what that Bulls offense was. Remember that one, Marcus, first in the East. But that Bulls offense,
Yeah, for like the first 2 months, and that was it.
First in the East. First in the East. But
Not this year.
Whatever.
Hey, well, Miles Bridges out. The Hornets need to go ahead and sign LiAngelo.
Listen,
and I think he can play in the NBA. Let me just make that clear.
Ray, I'm saying it like this though, because I got called a hater. First of all, I wish Pride was here, and I hope he's listening. I said LaMelo Ball to me is going to be the best ball brother. I think as of right now, it's
I don't
Lonzo.
think anybody argues that.
Right now it's Melo. What do you mean? Melo's better than Lonzo today.
Now, Pride said that it's Lonzo first, LiAngelo second, and LaMelo third because he hates LaMelo. But that's a whole different conversation for a different day.
Pride be just talking.
But here's my thing, Ray.
Pride.
I was there, bro. I was there for the COVID game. Little did I know it was the COVID game between Lonzo and LaMelo. Everybody got COVID. It was crazy. You had Chris Robinson getting signed to one-day deals. Mike Hughes was getting signed to one-day deals to play for Charlotte and the Bulls. And at the end of the day, LiAngelo still never got called up. You're telling me everybody and their mama got COVID. The reinforcements came from the G League, and they all got COVID. And LiAngelo still never got his shot. I just don't think it's going to happen. That's my problem.
I don't get it. He cooks. He plays well in Summer League.
I think he belongs on an NBA roster, on an NBA bench. I think he would be great as a role player. I just think based off of what I've seen and the amount of not having any players available in your chamber to shoot off, like, and you still didn't put him in, something's not right there. And
it's because he's not Giannis. If Lonzo played and he played kind of like Giannis, whose brother does absolutely nothing and still on the team for the past 4 years.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, like if Alonzo just played better than LaMelo.
But here's the question, Marcus. Is the only reason he is on the G League with the Charlotte Hornets is because of his brother being on the Hornets?
That's what I'm thinking.
It's the same conversation. They're not willing to put him in the league like the Bucks are because the Bucks are a championship team. They don't give a shit. Thaddeus needs a spot. We got it. Who cares? The other brother, Costa, that's the whole conversation about the Lakers.
He was in the Lakers. But he was with the Lakers too. So let that sit
bum. Oh, Costa's a huge bum. Like that's what it is. But I mean, it's just is what it is. But for me, bro, LiAngelo, I just don't think he ever gets his shot, and I think he should get a shot. But I mean,
and I'm saying that to say that he's better. And I'm saying to say that he's better than
guys like me and Ray. We'll never bring it up.
Right, he deserves a shot. He's
better. Is he playing the Summer League? Is he playing the Summer League?
Yeah, he's playing right now.
I think he's playing, but it's like he's not getting the most minutes because they give that to the
Yeah, he's not getting the run he got last year.
Right. But if he's dog shit, if he comes up to the league and DeAndre Ayton's giving him work or Io's giving him work, all right, cool. I will never bring it up again. But let me see it first. And obviously they see more than we do because they see them on a day-to-day basis. But I see the kid's stats. I see him hooping. Now it's only 4 points a game, but it's in 13 minutes. So it's like, what are we talking about? Like, give this kid the rock, bro. I don't know.
I'm with you.
I like him. That's all I'm gonna say.
Like, I think he'd be great at getting steals. You know, he's a great criminal. I mean,
Oh,
great asset to the team. But
well, we don't need another athlete locked up overseas because we don't seem to be able to go get him.
I know we don't. No, we don't.
Free Brittany.
Yes.
That's a conversation. We could have that conversation another time. I think
That wasn't a conversation. It was just a statement.
Yeah, but freedom comes at a cost in this scenario.
Yeah, and apparently it costs a multi-millionaire drug dealer from Russia. So that's fair. That's valid.
Yeah.
That's valid.
The messenger of death or whatever his name is.
Yeah, my study had a vape pen.
You gotta know where you at, and you gotta know the situation, and just don't put yourself in. I'm sorry to say it.
And it's just, but the thing is, in any other country in the world outside of maybe North Korea, this is a non-issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
in Russia is just
I think
the
like
timing.
China are in that conversation too.
But you're dealing with Russia, so there you go.
It's still, I say it. We don't have to get too deep into it, but I say it all the time. It's Brittany's fault for not understanding the situation of what's going on with Ukraine, and that America literally just walked up to Russia and said, "Yo, we don't fuck with you." Like that's what it was, and you knew
Like,
they were
we are
like
funneling billions and trillions of dollars to their enemy at the moment.
100%. So it's like you need to understand at that time. It's like what's going on right now, even though we're not at war, it's not all love. So it's like we gotta, even though I promise you, she's been doing that for years, bro. Like, because she plays over there. She's played overseas for the last 10 years in Russia. So it's like, and no one talks about the team she played for. Ray, you know what happened to the general manager of the team she played for?
No.
Shot in the head by Russian soldiers for speaking out. So it's not the first time something shystie's happened over there. He's dead, and it's like. That's just the way they move over there, bro. And that's the problem. Chris Robinson could jaywalk, and then they're gonna ask for Al Capone and Chief Keef back because that's fair. What are you talking about? You talking about notorious killers, and my boy Chris Robinson was jaywalking. That's crazy to me, bro. And that's why it's like I don't even know.
And then the
hey, folks, if I can say something, folks, I want to give a shout out to the NBA Players Association, because what they've done is 115 ABA players who have not reached their pension have received some money to be able to take care of their families, be able to take care. So a big shout out to the NBA Players Association for taking care of those guys who had the fortitude to do things in order for these players nowadays to make all the money they can, because them days they had to work 2 jobs. They had to sacrifice their homes and stuff, and some of them are homeless, and the NBA has stepped up and took care of them. So shout out to them.
Shout out to them. And we can end on a good note.
Because of that, we're going to get Reggie Miller and Charles Barkley in 2K now, which happens to be the year that Devin Booker's a cover athlete. Look what happens when the Suns do good.
Hey, Ray, before we get out of here,
take us home, Ray. Take us home, Ray.
Shout out to Zach Wilson.
Shout out to Zach.
Yes.
Fellas, until next week, y'all be easy.
Whole sports all plays. Whole sports all plays.
Y'all be good.
Whole sports all plays.